First, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy days to watch this video. We're going to go over quite a bit about Bridgestream, who we are, how we operate, just so you have a better understanding of what type of company we are, what it would look like to work with us. But I can tell you from the start, we are extremely excited for this transition. I look forward to speaking with each of you, getting to know each one of you. And really, I want to assure you that this is something that we've done multiple times in the past. We're very excited, and we're going to try to make this transition as seamless as we possibly can for your residents and for you yourselves as owners. At Bridgestream, we manage over $200 million worth of real estate here in the Dayton, Ohio market. We've been doing this for about 6 years now. We're very well versed in the landscape of property management, and we're just extremely excited to bring you into that portfolio and share with you all the things that we do here at Bridgestream. We've successfully integrated in that 5-year time period 3 different management companies into our portfolio. So this is not something that we're doing for the first time. We're very experienced in what you're going to want to see as an owner, what you're going to want to hear and feel throughout the process, what your residents are going to be looking for as well, just so that the transition is very, very seamless, and you're going to find that you can plug right in and just have a lot of visibility and transparency into your portfolio and how it's operating. Here at Bridgestream, we do hold our staff to very high standards. We like to think of ourselves as trendsetters that never stop evolving. We constantly want to be doing everything we can to be the best versions of ourselves and to really set the standard for what it should be in the property management industry. We spend a great deal of time looking at our systems, our processes, and evaluating all the different technology that continues to come into the space to offer the best experience possible for you as an owner and for your residents and for our vendors as well. At Bridgestream, we're also an integrated real estate solutions company. Now, what that means is we have our property management division that's kind of the foundation of everything we do. We also have a full service real estate brokerage. That real estate brokerage helps our clients buy and sell investment real estate. It also helps third-party clients buy owner-occupied homes and sell their owner-occupied homes as well. At Bridgestream, we have a full in-house maintenance and construction team. So we have crews that both handle a lot of the daily maintenance at all the units that we manage, as well as the unit turns. So that's really important to us by having that in-house maintenance team. It allows us to control the speed at which things are done, the cost at which they're completed, and the quality versus trying to go to the third-party market all the time. And then lastly, we're really big in making sure that we're partnering with the right vendors in the marketplace to give you the best feedback and resources available to maximize the cash flow of your investments. We are partnered with a wonderful insurance company that we'll talk about later in the presentation that can really help you on the property insurance side by giving you more coverage on your properties at a reduced premium as well, because of the volume nature that we're able to give them with our master liability or our master property insurance policy. Here at Bridgestream, we operate with a departmental structure, which is a little different than a lot of the smaller management companies are going to operate in. We made the decision to go to the departmental structure a couple years ago, and largely we made that decision because by having departments to manage each one of the various tasks in the organization, we can now have each one of those department heads as a mastery of skill set in that domain of what they're required to do on a day in and day out basis. For instance, what we saw is people that are great in leasing, sales, customer service, those same type of personalities don't work well when you transition to rent collection, maintenance coordination. And so when you try to put one person in charge of doing all of that, there's always going to be areas where they're going to lack. So by going to that individual department where each department only has one thing that they have to become a master at, it allows for the growth of the individual to become the absolute best version of themselves and ability to perform that task for you as an owner and for our residents as well. Each of our departments is held to different KPIs that they're measured on. We're really big here at Bridgestream in making sure that we're using data to hold our team accountable to ensure we're meeting the quality expectations of you as a client, but also our own internal expectations of what we think our team should be able to achieve. Now, our different departments are, we have a leasing department, a renewals department, an applications and move-in coordination department, maintenance for daily work orders that is occupied or for occupied units, unit turns, and inspections. We have our full accounting department, a move-outs and collections department, a utilities department, and then also our real estate brokerage. I'll get into each one of those departments and how we kind of operate in the processes that we follow in each one here in a second. Before we get into the departments though, I do want to explain a little bit about some of our team so you're aware of the people that you'll interact with on a day in and day out basis. So myself, Mike Mefford, I am one of the co-owners here at Bridgestream. I operate as our broker and CEO. My co-founding partner, Jason Brower, is in charge of, he's our chief he's our chief investor and community relations officer. Jason has been imperative in helping the organization grow to the scale that it's in. Jason is very connected now within the community, as well as with a lot of our owner clients as what's going on, and always helping us to be aware of the next opportunity on the horizon. Melissa Andre is another owner in the organization. She is our chief operating officer, and she runs essentially the entire day-to-day operations. Then we have Amanda Lytle as our director of operations. Kristen Stacy is our applications and move-ins manager. Cole Henry is our leasing agent. Frank Mall is the leasing agent as well. Michelle Monolato is our renewals manager. Debbie Brett is our collections and move-outs manager. Samuel Lagoon is our senior bookkeeper. Spencer Maxwell is our business development manager. Brian Abram is our onboarding manager. Amber Clark is our maintenance manager. And for a lot of you will be familiar with Bethany Herndon Allen. She is coming on board as our utilities manager. We have a number of other employees that are not listed on here, but these are the main employees that you would hear and interact with on a regular basis. So first, as we talk with our leasing department and how we operate. Now, with our leasing team, we measure everything. Again, data is really, really important to us. So on average, we're going to fill your unit within 21 days of it being listed as rent ready. And what I mean by that is we will find and approve a qualified prospect within 21 days of listing your property for rent. Now, one of the caveats that we want to really talk about is how do we go about leasing and showing your units to prospects to maximize the number of leads we're able to generate and maximize the number of applications we're able to receive at your property. To do that, we use a combination of self-showing lockboxes as well as in-person showings. We made the transition to self-showing lockboxes about 4 years ago. What self-showing lockboxes have allowed us to do is it has increased our lead flow and our application flow by over 300%. It allows a prospect to schedule based around their time or their schedule that makes the most sense for them to get in and see that unit. And normally they're able to see it much faster than they would if they're having to wait for a leasing agent. They can schedule any time between 8 a.m., 8 p.m., Monday through Sunday. So that's a huge advantage to fill in your units quickly, is just generating those leads and getting people in and out the door faster. With our self-showing lockbox process, we require that all prospects give us a driver's license, a credit card, and then they also have to have GPS enabled on their phone, and they have to provide us with a selfie so that everything matches. When they get to your unit, the GPS on the phone is going to trigger and match with the lock, and then they will be texted a one-time only code to enter the property to walk it. After they've walked the property and they've seen it, we're going to immediately send them an application to be able to apply for the unit. Our leasing team then really kicks into full gear and talking with them regularly, getting their feedback on what they liked, disliked about it, trying to encourage them to apply and to take that lead all the way from lead to prospect, all the way into moving into your unit. We do have the ability to show units in person if you would like, and there are certain situations where we do want to do in-person showings. So we do those as well. But what we have found is in-person showings will delay how long it takes us to fill your unit, just because we cannot generate the same number of showings and leads that we can through a self-showing lockbox. At Bridgestream, we are big believers in weekly automated reports for you, so you have real transparency to see what is happening with your unit while it is vacant. Over on the right-hand side of the screen, I'm showing you what that report is going to look like that you get. It's going to show you the number of leads that we generated, how many did we pre-qualify, how many showings were actually scheduled, and how many showings actually occurred. Again, data is going to drive our decision here. We're going to publish this listing on 50 plus different websites across the internet. The market is going to tell us how they're viewing your listing. If we've priced it appropriately, and if we are going to fill it within 21 days, we should be seeing about 3 to 5 showings happening per week. If we are not getting 3 to 5 showings per week, that is an issue that we want to look into, probably because it's priced too high, or there's something we may need to do to the unit with maybe some additional renovations to get it to a state that's going to be really attractive to potential prospects. So I encourage you, please review these reports when you get them and then share your feedback. Our leasing team is also looking at these as well. They start putting pretty comprehensive action plans together the minute that a unit hasn't been leased after 2 weeks to make sure that we're acting urgently and ensure that your unit is filled as quickly as we possibly can. So how our process works, we're actually going to start the pre-leasing process as soon as your resident moves out. When your resident moves out, our leasing team's immediately going to list that unit for rent as coming soon to be able to build that wait list for your property. They will mark it as coming soon 45 days from the move out date for the current prospect. If the rent ready date becomes sooner after the renovations are complete, obviously we move that date up, but we always want to start trying to build that coming soon list and that pipeline right away. One of the things that we're able to do here at Bridgestream because of our size is normally we're going to see most of our properties have 5, 6, 7 applications on them. A lot of those applications are going to be approved. So after the first prospect takes that listing, we then start working very closely with the remaining approved prospects and we start moving them across the portfolio to different inventory that we have available that fits their criteria. We really try to maximize those leads as much as we possibly can as they come in because we don't want to lose them. Those are hot people that are looking to move. We want to find a dream home for them and be that one-stop shop for them as well. The same thing goes because of how many units we have with the existing residents that we have. We want to help them throughout their journey as a resident as they move in their life from a 1-bedroom apartment to a 2-bedroom apartment to potentially a 3-bedroom home, a 4-bedroom home, and it keeps going depending on their changes in life circumstances that are happening. If they have a spouse and if they start to have children and they need more space, we want to help them through all of that because again, those are all leads that are sitting in-house. So we work with a lot of our residents as they upgrade in their life or even downgrade for that matter in terms of size to different options. So again, that's another internal lead source that we have that we really try to take advantage of. And then lastly, we're really big on measuring our occupancy rate. Just so you know, right now we operate the portfolio about a 94.5% occupancy rate. Now, quite frankly, that number could be higher. We have a number of owners that are doing owner turns, and those owner turns can either sometimes push out 3-4 months, or also the turns they're kind of looking at situations trying to figure out funding, which has delayed that process, which keeps that number a little bit lower. So our applications and move-in coordination department. This department, again, we're going to start by going through the process for how they operate. So when a prospect applies, we're going to process that application within 24 hours. Our team is immediately starting to work with them to make sure we have all of the information that we need to process the application accurately. We will then approve or deny that prospect. Once a prospect is approved, they have 24 hours to come into our office and drop off that hold deposit to secure the unit. That hold deposit is non-refundable. We're really big in the leasing process. We want to create urgency with time so that a prospect acts quickly. While it's hot, while they've applied, we want to move all the way through the channel to make sure that they decide to move into that unit that they've seen. We don't want them to waver and start looking at more and more units. We want to try to close that deal quickly. After that hold deposit is received, we'll then schedule the lease signing. And then finally, once the lease is signed, we will notify you so you're aware that your unit has been rented. Our applications team is going to process over 300 applications a month. And again, just as I talked about in the prior slide, we work really closely with prospects who've already applied but their units are taken to move them to different properties within the portfolio that match their criteria. I would say that this is probably the fastest way that we grow units is through using the existing lead flow that we already have to move them to new inventory that's available. In terms of the criteria that we're going to use, we're going to do a background check and a credit check, a landlord verification and an income verification. We're looking for a minimum credit score of 600. We're looking for no evictions, no bankruptcies in the last 5 years, no felonies, and we want to make sure that each resident has good landlord history. So we're following up on all of that to ensure that the residents that we're placing in your homes are going to take care of your property and they're going to pay the rent and fulfill the terms of their lease agreement with us. Lease renewals. So lease renewals and daily maintenance coordination, I would argue, are the two most important jobs in our organization. Both of those departments are going to dictate how long our residents stay in their existing unit. And the longer we can have residents stay in your unit, the better your cash flow is going to be. Move-outs are extremely expensive, so we try to make sure that we're doing everything we possibly can to keep residents in the units that they are staying in. On average, our average tenancy is roughly 3.5 years, but we're really trying to push 5-7 years on residents. We want them in your homes as long as we possibly can to keep that cash flow coming in. So our process for lease renewals is going to start 90 days when your lease is getting ready to expire. We will send you a notification with the exact lease amount that your residents are currently paying and allow you the opportunity to weigh in if there's any changes that you want to make to the renewal outside of what we would normally recommend, which is a 2.5% rent increase for a 12-month lease. And then if the resident goes month to month and chooses the month-to-month option, that option would be $50 more expensive than the 12-month option that we give them. At 60 days out, we will send the renewal offer to the resident, and that's when our renewals team is going to really kick into high gear. They're going to be calling and having conversations with your residents to try to get them to sign the lease. They want to really make sure the resident feels heard of what their experience has been thus far. How do we become even better to help them really enjoy their home and get the most out of it? And then we're going to really share with them the potential costs that they'd be looking at if they look to move and why it makes a lot of sense just to sign that lease renewal to stay with us long term. This is really, really important, and it takes a lot of care and a lot of empathy and compassion, as well as helping them just understand what their situation looks like so that we can drive them to the finish line to signing that 12-month lease. Again, we are going to hold our renewals team to a pretty high standard. We are expecting that 70% of the renewals that we send out, we want to see sign a 12-month renewal, and that's one of their KPIs that we measure. And then at least 80% of our residents are signing either the month-to-month or the 12-month renewal. So if I break that down, 70% we're hoping to have a 12-month lease, 10% go at least to month-to-month. And then realistically, we'd love to see it around 85% every month renewing their lease. Again, this is so important in the process to ensuring we maximize your cash flow by keeping your residents in the unit. Once a resident does sign their lease, we will notify you so you are aware that yes, they are staying another 12 months. You can also see the status of your leases and your tenants in your owner portal, which we'll talk about a little bit later. In terms of our maintenance department, we break it out into a couple different smaller segments. The first is daily maintenance coordination for occupied units. The way our daily maintenance team is going to work is that request is going to come in. We're working really closely with your resident, and we have the opportunity for them to share pictures, answer questions. We've got a really extensive triage process that we take them through, especially if the resident fills this out directly online. And it's a pretty comprehensive process that is based around AI that's going to help them troubleshoot the issue with pictures and videos, very similar almost to what some IKEA instructions are going to look like to allow the tenant to fix their own issues before we would have to send a technician to repair the problem. We will assess the situation once everything has been sent in to us. We would then coordinate the repair, get it done. We'll resolve the issue. And then what I really like that we added with our software over the past few years is think of it like Uber. At the end of every work order, when it's been marked completed, your resident is going to get a quick thing saying, hey, how did we do 1 to 5? They just press that star button, and then we're able to measure and track the performance of our maintenance team. Our goal is that we always have at least a 4.5 out of 5 star rating in terms of tenant satisfaction. If a resident does not give us a 5-star review, it immediately triggers an action on our team to be reaching out to the resident to understand what went wrong during that last work order repair. What can we do different so that we can ensure we're dealing with problems head on and we're not letting them linger? If people feel heard and we can respond quickly, we can really root off a lot of problems that can happen down the road. So other things of how we operate, all non-emergency work orders we should complete within 5 business days or less. Any emergency work orders we're going to complete within 24 hours. Now we have a 24/7 maintenance hotline for your residents to be able to call into with any of their concerns. And then we've got a really strong vetted network of vendor partners along with our internal maintenance techs so that we can respond quickly to getting issues resolved so that they don't turn into major problems down the road. Our internal technicians, they bill out at $85 an hour right now. And then the trades that we're going to send can vary based on what they bill out at, anywhere from 125 all the way to 210, depending on the vendor that we use and the service that they are providing. And then lastly, another thing that's really big for us, again, we want to make sure you have transparency. You will have a owner hub in our maintenance coordination software, which is called Property Meld. This will allow you to see all of the work orders that your residents are putting in. It will allow you to see pictures. It'll allow you to see status of the work orders. We'll be communicating those with you as well. So you'll know when a work order came in, when did we schedule, when did we send it to a vendor, When did it get completed? You'll have access to all of that so that when your owner statement comes, you kind of already have an understanding of what to expect before it's actually gotten there. On the unit turn side, this is another area where by having our own internal technicians, we've really been able to enhance the quality for all of our clients to ensure that we can maximize the dollars that you are spending in your unit to make sure that we're getting the right cash or the right cash on cash return on your investments, but also maximizing the equity in your investment. So our estimating team is very well trained in the process to look at each individual property to understand what do we need to do to get it into its minimal rent ready standard. So they're first looking at that, but then they're also looking at the property saying, okay, if we were to renovate the kitchen or if we were to renovate a bathroom, what would that do to the rent rate that we're currently charging? And then what would that add in terms of long-term equity to the property so that we can start having those conversations with you to make sure what investment would you like to take and what makes the most sense for your asset. It's a big thing that we try to do on that maintenance side, especially on the unit term, because that's when we can really start adding value to your asset. So how our process works, you will be notified when your tenant puts in their notice to vacate. And again, they are required to give us a 30-day notice to vacate from your unit. Then our maintenance team is going to be coordinating and communicating directly with our leasing team to list that unit as coming soon and on the website to start building that tenant pipeline. When your tenant moves out and provides us with keys, we will go to the property, we will change the locks, and we will perform the move-out inspection. During the move-out inspection, we're taking roughly 50 to 100 pictures, so you'll have a really good idea of what the current shape of the unit is, and it'll help justify the estimate that we're going to send you. So while our estimator is on site doing the move-out inspection, he's also putting together that estimate for you to get your unit into rent-ready condition. We will then share the move-out inspection with you and your owner board with all those pictures, the estimate for the unit, and then we will also eventually share with you all of the charges that we're going to charge your tenant for on their security deposit disposition. So you will have all of that at your availability as you make your decision on what you want to do with your unit when it's vacant. Now, once you've seen the estimate and you've approved the estimate, the next thing we're going to ask you to do is to fund your account. Once your account is funded, we're typically going to start that job within probably the next week. And then some of these jobs can only take 2 to 5 days to complete. And then we've already got it ready and we can take it from coming soon. And then we can actually start showing that unit to potential prospects to really reduce that downtime where your unit is sitting vacant without any rent income coming in. Inspections. Inspections are another thing that we are starting to do as an organization. We will do an annual inspection on your property every year. And during that inspection, our goal is to really get you a high level view of how your resident is living. One, so you can make sure, is this somebody that I want to continue to rent to, or is this someone we want to have move out? But it's also going to allow us to catch certain things before they become major problems. So we're going to be looking at the landscaping for the property. We're looking at furnace filters to make sure they're being changed. We're looking at what the curtains look like. We're looking at any areas where the resident is not properly caring for your unit. When we see those during the inspection, we're going to schedule maintenance to get done to complete all of that work. And then we bill that back to the resident. And we find that to be really important during this process so that when your resident eventually moves out, you're not stuck with the big bill because they went over their security deposit of the additional repairs that are needed. We want to try to stay ahead of this as much as we possibly can. When the inspections are completed, again, our team is going to go through them all, they're going to assess them, and then they will share those inspections with you. So you'll have a really good idea of what the home looks like and what to expect as you move forward. Our accounting department. So at Bridgestream, we've got a full in-house accounting department. We will process and pay all of your invoices from vendors and all of your utility bills. We try not to pay mortgages, property taxes, and property insurance, mostly because there's a lot of liability involved. And it's not because we won't get the payments out, but there's a lot of issues with mail. And I want to make sure that if we send anything out, that it's going to get applied properly. We can make exceptions from time to time off of this, so that's not a hard and fast rule, but we really prefer not to pay, again, mortgages, property taxes, or property insurance and have our clients pay those for their own individual properties. The way we operate is we're going to do our owner disbursements on the 10th of every month. If the 10th falls on a weekend, we will do it the next business day. Now, within those owner disbursements, you're going to get a number of really great information to help you understand what's happening with your assets. The first thing we're going to send you is an owner packet, and this is really going to show you a detailed general ledger, or I guess think of it like a bank statement. It'll almost look identical to your bank statement, where you can see every single transaction that happened on your property and the ongoing cash balance after that transaction. In addition, in that packet, you will get copies of every single invoice we paid on your behalf and copies of any work order that was submitted. So if you didn't see it in your maintenance portal hub, you would see it here again as well, so you understand what's happening at the property. We'll also include in that owner packet a 12-month running profit and loss statement and a rent roll that's going to show you your existing tenants, what the market rent is, what their current rent is, when they moved in, when their lease end date is, if they have any balance owed. So you have all of that information available to you at your fingertips. And when we are doing owner disbursements, we can do them a couple different ways. Our preferred way is to direct deposit them directly into your account. So we try to do that as much as we possibly can. So your owner dashboard or your owner portal, this is something that we get really, really excited about, because we feel as owners, you need to have access and visibility into everything happening in your portfolio, so you're not waiting once a month to get that statement. This is something that we're really excited and why we enjoy Appfolio so much. So on the screen, I'm showing you, this is what your owner portal will look like in Appfolio. Now, a couple things, and I'll get to how you contact us later on in the presentation, but right at the very top where I'm circling, you've got the best way to contact us, which is our owner's direct phone line that we don't list anywhere but in here. And then also our owners only inbox. Again, we don't list this anywhere else but here at the very top to get in touch with us. Now, when you're looking in your owner portal, the most important thing that I want you to pay attention to is right here under this most recent packet in this blue rectangle that says download packet. This is what we're sending you on the 10th of every month, and it's going to have the most accurate information showing you that general ledger that looks like a bank statement, with all the transactions and all of the ongoing cash balances after each transaction. You'll have all your copies of your invoices, your profit and loss statements, and your rent roll. It's right in there, so you'll want to click that rectangle blue button to download those reports and review it from there. Where Appfolio can get a little confusing is when you start getting down here in this cash in section, and then what you can't see because the screen cut off is there's also a cash out section. That will show you all the transactions happening against your account, but sometimes it can be a little confusing. So treat this as just, hey, it's nice to see what this is, but we're going to give you a lot more detail on the 10th of every month when we send that owner packet. And again, you'll access that owner packet right here by pressing download packet. Now, on the left-hand side of your owner portal is a lot of different things and places that you have access to information as well. So this statement section right here is where you can access historical statements. So this in the middle of the screen is your most recent owner packet. All your prior owner packets will be stored right here in the statement section for you to always go back and have access to them. The transactions tab is going to show you all the transactions against your property. Again, it's a one-stop shop to see what's happening really quick at your property. So there's an opportunity, those transactions are updated real time, so you'll know what has hit your account. Inspection reports, I talked a little bit earlier about what our inspections are going to look like, and when we share those reports with you, you can access all of your historical inspections right here. The documents section is how you can access all of the documents that we've uploaded to you. This is where we're going to publish all of your 1099s at the end of every year, along with your management agreement and all of the lease agreements with your residents. This reporting section, this is a new feature that Appfolio launched. It's really great for you as an owner to be able to run all kinds of different reports on your portfolio to see how they're performing. This is really useful at the end of the year when you're trying to gather reports for your accountant to process your taxes. We will send stuff to you as well, but if you're trying to get ahead of the game, you can go right to that report section and run your own reports. Under the properties tab, this is where you can see all the properties that you have in your portfolio under our management. And then finally, this contribution tab, if you ever need to fund your account to pay for any renovations or large capital expenditures like a roof or new furnace, you can make a contribution directly by clicking on this owner or this contributions tab. You can fund your account in multiple ways with us by using an e-check, credit card, or debit card. The most popular and preferred method is an e-check because you can fund it for free. A debit card, I believe Appfolio charges you around $9.99 for each debit card transaction, and I believe Appfolio charges about 3% as a credit card processing fee if you try to pay via credit card. Our collections team, this is a process that we take very, very seriously and one that we follow very rigidly to ensure that we are not breaking protocol, because it helps us deliver a 97% plus collections rate every single month for all of our owner clients. We also maintain an eviction rate of under 0.7% of the entire portfolio on an annual basis. It's pretty extraordinary numbers, and a lot of that is directly correlated to this process that we put in place and not deviating from it. So for starters, rent is due on the 1st of every single month, and it's going to be considered late on the 5th of the month. On the 10th of the month, if your resident still hasn't paid, we're going to post a 3-day notice for them to vacate the property. And if the tenant still hasn't paid by the 14th, an eviction is going to be filed. When we file an eviction, we will notify you as an owner so you are aware of what is going on. Our collections team is then working very, very closely with the residents to help them understand, listen, we can cancel this eviction at any time as long as we have payment in full, including reimbursement of all the legal costs associated with filing the eviction. So we work really, really closely with the residents throughout this whole process. And we do it in large part because with our residents, what we have found is if we allow them to get behind and we allow them to only make partial payments on their rent or not pay till the 20th of every month, what happens is that resident gets further and further behind, can't get caught up as all these fees have just compounded and compounded and compounded. And it eventually leads to them being forced to have to be evicted because there's no way they can make up for the past balances owed. This is what we found when we first started off in our journey as a management company. Over time, we really evolved this process to now rent is due in full. We do not accept partial payments as a company. And we're very, very strict at helping the resident understand what the consequences are for non-payment of rent. Sometimes it's really hard because some residents have really heart-crushing stories of the situations that they're dealing with. But we have to make sure that we're being equal to all of the residents and not treating anyone with preferentiality, and we're being fair to all residents involved. But more importantly, we're going to make sure that we keep the residents on the right track, that rent has to be paid first before any other bill, because what I never want to see for a resident, and what our staff never wants to see, is if a resident has to be evicted, it can ruin their life. It will impact and not allow them the ability to rent anywhere for like the next 10 years. And I would never want to see, I never want to see that happen to anybody. So if we have to be really hard and firm on the front end to ensure rent is paid on the schedule that it needs to be paid, we're going to do that time and time again. We have a saying, and we talk to our staff all about it, is we're either going to train the residents how we want them to behave, or they're going to train us on how they want us to behave. Especially when it's related to collections, we really want to make sure that we're training the residents what the expectation is in terms of behavior and what the consequences are for non-compliance. As I talked about a little bit earlier, we also have a full service real estate brokerage that will assist all of our clients in buying and selling of their portfolios. It's our goal at our real estate brokerage to really help our clients create tailored and custom strategies to meet your investment goals. We do this by looking at different disposition strategies of your assets, and that could include looking at what your tax shelters are, opportunities with that, if it even makes sense for you. We're also looking at, when should we try to sell? What should the state of the home be in? There's a lot of different strategies depending on your property, depending on the circumstance that we may really recommend to you. We look at different acquisition strategies. We really want to be a partner with you throughout the process. We spend a lot of time working with local lenders to understand who has the best rates and the best products to be able to support our investor base. So we will constantly be sharing with you which lenders are great for commercial real estate, that have the best rates and terms and amortization schedules and interest rates and renovation loans that we can provide you on that front. And then we also have some really, really strong DSCR lenders that are different than your typical conventional lender, but their rates are equally as competitive, but it'll allow you to get finance for a lot more real estate than going through the traditional conventional route. So our brokerage team is really well versed in that, so they can have those conversations with you as an owner, especially as you're looking to grow your portfolios. Again, we have an insurance company that we partner with called Lineage that we'll talk about here in a second. Wonderful, wonderful company that can really support you on the property insurance for investment real estate, so long as it is under 4 units. The rates are extremely competitive, and some of the items that are included in the policy are really, really strong that aren't included in a lot of other insurance policies that we see. Again, we want to be working closely with you as an owner, looking at your portfolio in totality every year, helping you understand what the equity is in the portfolio and putting together that strategy if you're looking to acquire or if you're looking to slowly get out of the space and redeploy your capital into different asset classes. We can work with you through all of that each year. And then because of the size of our portfolio, we always have owners that are looking to sell. So we have access to a lot of off-market inventory that you're not going to see. So that's one of the benefits that you get by coming into the organization and working with Bridgestream, especially if you're looking to grow, is you will have access to off-market properties that you will have the chance to buy. Property insurance. This is one that we are really excited about and a partnership that we set up about a year ago with Lineage Insurance. They, in our opinion, are probably best in class in the space related to investment landlord real estate. They've become an extremely trusted partner for a number of reasons, but where we see it are two main areas they really stand out. Their customer service and how easy it is to get quotes from them and to transition your property from another insurance policy to theirs are really second to none. It's so easy, so effortless. It's just very, very simple process to work with. The other thing we've seen is every time we've had Lineage quote a property, I've yet to see them not beat the existing premium that you have with your current insurance provider. Now, one thing to note that's really important is they can only insure assets that are 4 units or under. They are not a commercial lender. We do have different insurance agents that we would recommend to help support you if you have multifamily assets that are 5 units or more. But if it's 4 units or less, this is by far and away the best to go. And it's super easy for us to get you free estimates, free quotes for their insurance product. Now, some of the things that the policy includes, it'll include coverage on the dwelling up to $800,000. It'll have loss of rents coverage. It'll have a general liability policy of $1 million in coverage. This is really big. What I see on a lot of investor landlord policies, only like $300,000 in general liability. So with this policy, you have $1 million in general liability. And then probably the most important feature that is included in this policy is the sewer backup coverage. This is extremely important if you have any assets that were built really before 1980. What happens over time with your main lines is you start having roots grow into them, they start to slowly deteriorate. And when that starts to occur, you start having water backups into your home. If you start having water backups or sewage backups, the cost to repair those can be substantial depending on how much and how severe the water backup was or if it was raw sewage, because that has to be treated very differently using really specific vendors that specialize in remediation. So having this coverage is really beneficial to have so you don't get stuck with really large costs that are really unforeseen. So probably if you don't have it on your existing policy, you choose not to go with Lineage, make sure you talk to your existing insurance provider to add this to your policy. This policy also has contents coverage as well. Now, one of the things to be aware of as standard with our management agreements is we do require that all of our clients list Bridgestream as an additional insured for each property that we are managing for them. If you choose to go with this policy with Lineage, you are automatically, you're excluded from that because this is a master policy for Bridgestream that Lineage has set up. So we are listed as an additional insured on every policy, so you don't have to worry about doing anything additional with that. If you choose not to go this route, you would just need to notify your existing insurance provider to add Bridgestream Property Insurance to your existing Bridgestream Property Management to your existing property insurance policy. I've also got a link right there that'll show you how to access the Lineage website to get a custom quote. You can also connect directly with me throughout the process, and I can introduce you to Shane and Oliver over at Lineage, who are going to be the ones that assist you in getting that quote. And again, I can't tell you how simple and easy that process is to get set up. I do want you to know how extremely excited and thankful we are for the opportunity to bring on your properties, to manage them and to continue to manage them moving forward. This is something that we take really seriously, and I want to ensure you that it is our goal and our commitment to give you the highest level of customer service and satisfaction that we possibly can. We want to make sure that we take away any fears and concerns that you have, so that you can rest assured, have peace of mind knowing that your assets are under great management, great control, and that we're going to take wonderful care of them, and that we really know and can provide really sound advice on what's happening in the marketplace and what your strategies should be, both short-term and long.